So as Ernie would invite me to go shoot a few baskets with him over to the neighborhood house, which is now the Ernie Davis Center.
Oh, that's what the neighborhood house is. Okay, 'cause I
Exactly, that
always
was the old neighborhood house.
okay because people have always referred to that. I never knew that that
Right.
was the Ernie Davis Center.
Yes.
Okay.
And some days I would be the only white guy. There would be probably 12, 15 of the black guys all eager to play basketball with a regulation game.
Yep.
And they always picked me. The Comans liked me. Howie Coleman, they had the Green Pastures wedding
Yep.
bar, and his brother Raleigh Coleman.
Okay.
Raleigh was very athletic and good, and he would always choose me to play on his team.
Really?
And we would play against Ernie and four other guys. You
Okay.
know? So we had a lot of fun with it. And again, I would play probably a couple hours, you know.
Oh my gosh.
And then I would still go back to the dairy and work the rest of the night at the dairy store, see. So Ernie and I became real good buddies through the interim. With all this going on back and forth, I brag a lot about one thing, and I have to make mention of my brother Jim.
Okay.
He's 80 years old now, and he played ball for the previous coach before Marty Harrigan.
Yes.
Marty Harrigan was my coach.
Okay.
And the coach before him, his name was Vic Campusciato.
All right.
And my brother Jimmy come to watch us scrimmage one night, and I was playing on defense, and this coach Campusciato was standing there next to my brother, which I didn't know they were there. And all of a sudden, one of the plays that Marty Harrigan called was for Ernie Davis to run between the left end, who is Teddy DeFilippo, the lawyer,
Yeah. Yeah.
and John Wilbur, who was the other guy. I'll point these guys out to you in a minute. John Wilbur was about 6'3",
Okay.
and Teddy was not all that big. He was about 6 foot, but a lot lighter than Wilbur. So the first play that I didn't know they were trying to box me out, I got through, knocked Wilbur over, and I tackled Ernie for about a 5-yard loss, you know,
Yeah.
which was a big achievement in itself.
Yes, I imagine so.
So, of course, Harrigan come over and patted me on the rump. He says, all right, let's do this again. So now I know the play's coming. And I says, well, now I got to change my strategy because I had to pick on DeFilippo. It was a lot easier than this other big guy. So, and this is ironic, but 2 plays in a row, which I bragged all my kids, my children, and loved ones. Your dad tackled Ernie Davis twice in a row
Twice.
for a loss, you know, which I did. 2 plays in a row. I tackled him again the second time behind the line of
Yep.
scrimmage. So that was one of my feats that I brag about.
I mean, that is something.
And, and Harrigan, God bless him, what a great guy. And I remember going to his wake, and I said to his son, I says, I was a little bit early because I had something going on. I forget what it was now, but I remember apologizing to the.
Yeah.
And he says, I think Tom was his name. I says, I'm Pudgie Cleary. I says, your dad was my football coach, and he shook my hand. He says, my dad talked a lot about you. He says he begged me to go to college.
Yes.
I only, again, I was about 5'8", but I was fast. I could run real fast.
Uh-huh.
And I was co-captain my senior year of the team with Mikey Rich, you know.
Okay.
So we took a lot of pride in we went undefeated with Ernie when he was a senior that year.
Yeah.
We went undefeated that whole year. And then my senior year, we had only, I think we won about 4 games was all out of the schedule.
Okay.
But we had a lot of great fun with it. And Ernie, I remember he many times would, you know, talk about me being the ice cream guy, and because he related a lot of his stops at the dairy back and forth. And my mother, God bless her, she was a waitress at Moretti's restaurant, okay? Very Italian. And Tony DeFilippo, Teddy DeFilippo's father, who was an attorney at the time, he would always request for my mother to wait on him because they're very Italian and very much in likes in their own whatever kind of mannerism and what have you. So Ernie was with Mr. DeFilippo, the lawyer.
Okay.
And he introduced my mother to Ernie on one of their dinner engagements at Moretti's. So the day of Ernie's banquet. They had a big banquet for him, of course, you know. This was after he won the Heisman Trophy.
Yes,
And,
yep.
Well, I told my mom, I says, make sure you tell Ernie I'm sorry I couldn't make it. I had to go out of town on some business. And she says, I'll make sure. So there was about 200 people coming to the restaurant with Ernie, you know, walking in with DeFilippo.
Yeah.
And the first thing he saw my mother, this is the kind of guy he was. Hi, Mrs. Cleary, is Pudgie in tonight? And, you know, because we were good buddies, like I say. And she says, Ernie, I'm sorry. He told me to tell you he was sorry. You know, he says, well, do you think he would mind if I write him a quick note? And this is where that came from here, see?
Oh
so
my
that's
gosh.
where, to Pudgie from...
So here's the picture Mr. Cleary got from Ernie Davis.
Yeah, this is our football picture, of course, of our team that year. And this was the note that Ernie wrote me, you know, the night of his banquet at Moretti's restaurant. And I brought this whole thing to Corning. I was one of they invited 8 of us people to the showing of the Amara Express, you know,
Yes.
theater. Ernie's, they invited to that, and I brought this up to the theater that night up in the Heights, and they made a big deal out of this. The people from Elmira and the people from Corning, that was in both Star Gazette and the other Corning newspaper,
Yes.
about Ernie. And I was with my friend Nicky Santone.
And even on the letter it says the ice cream man.
Yes, that's what it all. And
That is too funny.
and you know, like I say, just such. It was. Oh, here's Teddy DeFilippo here.
Okay.
And then John Wilbur, you can't miss him, wherever he might be. There he is. There's Big John Wilbur.
Okay.
And this is me at the end over here. You can see I was only 5'8", like I say, but I was 235 pounds, and I was pretty strong, kid.
Yeah.
I could do my thing physically, all right. And again, the manager and the coach, Marty Harrigan, he begged me to go to college, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, didn't have that much money. We come from a family of 6 kids, you know. I did.
Yeah.
So, and the college thing was, my oldest brother made it, but he worked his way through college, and he did a commendable job. But I, in fact, did not go to college, so. But it was at least an honorable mention that I had 2 scholarships to go, you know.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Now, what were the schools?
Lycoming, for one, in Cortland.
Awesome.
Ernie, he just was the kind of guy that he made it a point, you know, to say hi to me. Even though all that attention was going on, he made it a point to say hi to my mother for me and asked if I was there, of course. And but we spent a lot of time together. I probably, if the truth was known, and
I really appreciate your time, Mr.
well,
Cleary.
I hope I've helped you with some of this
You've
stuff.
helped me tremendously, and I mean, this story, I mean, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
And
especially when, you know, again, there's a lot of good, down-to-earth people.
Yes.
And Ernie happened to be one of those kind of guys, you know. And you can always, I can be very thankful that I knew him that well, and, you know, played football with him, and we had a great relationship for sure through the years. And it was tragedy that it ended so quickly, you know.
Yes.
I would love, as a matter of fact, I would love him for now to see me, Pudgie the Pizza Man, instead of the Ice Cream Man. He didn't even know about Pudgie's Pizza, you know, because I was just getting him started, say, at the time.
Exactly.
So that was 54 years ago when I opened that.
That's, but
now, are you going to do what are you going to do?